The Suns drop Game 5, but still lead the series 3-2. Here he is.
Arizona Republic, tough loss. First of all, I'd like to...
Oh, yeah, I'll be all right.
I'm curious then about the energy and pace. Was it what you wanted to see consistently throughout the game?
Not at all. Definitely got to be better. They came out and they were the aggressors. They sort of looked like us in Game 4, and they hit us. They were too comfortable, and we got to be better.
Next is Dave McMiniman with ESPN, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
What's happening? You got it. It's your cap. What do you make of Paul George tonight and how he's been playing this series for Hawaii?
Yeah, he got it going. You know what I mean? Like I said, he was getting his spots. He's making shots. Twin and Reggie got it going early. It gave him a chance to sort of settle into the game, and we got to make it tough on him.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Jovan Buha.
Yeah, Chris, you guys took the lead and then got tight there at the end. What do you feel like you guys weren't able to do to get over the hump?
We got to close quarters better. You know what I mean? Like, that's been a problem for us all series long, is closing quarters. Those last 2.5, 3 minutes of the quarters. You know, we took the lead, maybe cut it to 1 or 2, and then they get a bucket, and then they go on a run. So look at it, see what we need to do better, and get ready for the next one.
Next is Jovan Buha with The Athletic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Hey, Chris. They've actually stayed with Zubats more than playing small ball, and you guys had outplayed their small ball lineups through the first 4 games. What was the difference in them shifting to smaller and having more success with those lineups?
I don't know. I got to look at it. We gave them a lot of open shots early. You know what I mean? They got their threes going, and I think that's a team that plays off confidence when they're making shots. So we got to try to get the right people shooting, and our offense feeds off our defense, so we just got to remember that.
Next is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Gina Mizell.
Chris, I know with your position you take pride in getting DeAndre the ball. What were you seeing with the way the Clippers were sending bodies at him?
Got to do a better job getting it to him, get our spacing right, you know, knowing that they undersized. They got like 3 people sort of boxing him out or trying to hold him down. So we just got to pick our spots better and be more aggressive.
Next is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, followed by Cameron Cox.
Hey Chris, Monty during his pregame availability kept preaching kind of first quarter, and so I imagine that's what he was telling you guys too. So when it doesn't quite click in that first quarter, how surprising or frustrating was that for you?
I mean, it's frustrating, but you realize it's a long game. You settle in, and you know, guys came in, we fought back, and you know, it seemed like every time we get there or whatnot, they do another run or whatnot. So we look at it, like I said, and we got to come out better.
Next is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Sierra Santos.
Chris, what's the mood after this one? Monty Williams, he just said that you guys are going to be better next game. Is that what you guys talked about right after this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We know we go in there, a place where we won last time. We know they're going to be excited and ready to go, so we'll be ready.
Final 2 questions are going to be Sierra Santos with Fox 10 and Dwayne Rankin.
I asked Monty about desperation. It's not really something that you guys can practice. He said that you guys really aren't going to need to practice it anyway after getting your butts kicked. What do you think the response level is going to be like in LA?
We'll see tomorrow. Yeah, that's why you play the games. We'll see day after tomorrow, you know.
Final question is Dwayne Rankin.
Chris, you guys have been so good at protecting the ball, and then tonight, only they had the 14 turn, but they turned that into
23 points, yeah.
How huge was that?
Yeah, that was uncharacteristic of us, you know, especially me. I had a couple turnovers early in the game, first, second quarter, and they converted on all of them, you know. So, like we said, that's uncharacteristic of us, and we got to be better game 6.
Thank you for the time, Chris.
No problem.
Into our NBA TV studios, I'm Kristen Ledlow. That's Greg Anthony. That's Steve Smith down there, and we're with you for the next, It really isn't up to us how long
we're gonna be here a minute.
We're going to be here a while. We'll have all of the coach and player press conferences right here on Playoff Central Live, presented by AT&T 5G. Let's start right there with PG. GA, what made the difference for him?
Well, I think the way the Clippers started the game, and by that I mean it showed him that they felt they could win the game, right? I thought Morris was incredible. I think he went 7 of 8 to start the game. He was just electric, making shots from everywhere. And then also mentioned it before we went to the game, that a lot of times tells you the mindset and the approach. And then Ty Lue, I go back to it, I think he has done the best job of in-game management of any coach in the postseason. I mean, he has pushed the right buttons consistently throughout the postseason, and never more so than when his team had its back against the wall. And I thought, again, that start by Morris set the tone. Paul George was, he was solid early. It wasn't spectacular, but he didn't have to overextend himself early. And then he could carry that load in the second half. And then I credit their defense. Phoenix played tight tonight. I thought they played a little tight. They were a little unsure, and I think the zone caused a lot of that doubt. And what happens as an athlete, when you start thinking you're not reacting, you play slow. And they played slow in the half court, and it really allowed the Clippers to kind of dictate. And they just really never gave up control of this game, Smitty.
You're totally right, GA. I thought you said it best. Marcus Morris, the way he scored, to me, was stabilizing points because he was posting up. He's been living at the 3 a lot, and he can shoot it. But if you look the way he established himself down on the block with his size, and look at points in the paint, they were lacking all the size in this game. But when you look at it, they 58 points in the paint to 32. And then I thought T. Lue, like GA said, we've been raving all the adjustments and buttons he's pushing. He's just got the magic touch. He comes in with DeMarcus Cousins, goes right to him.
Which one of you, I couldn't remember, which one of you said, you did say, right, that Boogie could make the difference in this one?
He's so talented.
Yeah.
You just can't play him in long stretches. Got him going. They only had 19 points off the bench. Has them pause, and then next thing you know, they got their confidence. And you said it best, Jig. Marcus Morris, we know Paul George was phenomenal. But Reggie Jackson, how consistent has he been?
Yeah.
I mean, Reggie's been consistent.
Right.
23 points.
7 games. At this point, when you look at the stats, the Clippers, as opposed to the Suns, nearly twice as many points in the paint, nearly twice as many points in transition as well. What was the key to establishing that pace early on?
Well, it's interesting, too, because I thought, again, Phoenix didn't handle the adjustments. Like, Aiden was not a factor, and it wasn't Aiden's fault. For a lot of that, it was the lack of utilization of Aiden. They went when Phoenix was big, the Clippers went small. Mm-hmm. Cousins didn't play against Aiden very much, but they didn't try to go to Aiden. They didn't, because of the zone, they went away from their man-to-man principles offensively, and so you never saw him get rim runs. And they didn't try to post him very often. And so I thought, that was a part of the issue. And this is where, coaching really shows itself. I just thought, and it is tough for Monty on his end, because you really have to wait to see how the Clippers are going to play, right? Because you don't really know, because you know they're going to do some different things. And he probably thought, they may play some zone or whatever. But then the fact that they were making shots early, they came out and got into a big lead. And I thought that changed the game. I thought the fact they got out to such a big lead, it really took Phoenix out of their game plan. It got them out of what they wanted to do offensively, and I thought that was also huge for them. And again, they're a young team. Obviously Paul's been around a long time, and, Crowder's been around, but the vast majority of those guys are young, and they played a little tight tonight. And I thought that showed, and I thought the Clippers sensed that. Mm-hmm. And then once they got up, as soon as the Suns did something positive, Paul seemed to have an answer, or Reggie had an answer. And so, they've done what they've done this entire postseason with their back against the wall. They played spectacularly on both ends. And we talked a lot about this, but we got to go back. Paul George, how good has he been in the postseason? Like he should be getting the same accolades that we've given to Kevin Durant this postseason with how incredible he was. Embiid was incredible, but Paul George has been equally as good as anybody playing this postseason.
Well, a playoff career high 41 for Paul George, including 30 in the second half. Let's hear from him after the game with Rachel Nichols.